We're covering the reproductive system, and we're talking about the overall menstrual cycle and what does the ovary do and what does the uterus do in tandem together, and we call that the ovarian cycle and uterine cycle, all for the preparation of fertilization. Our goal is to reproduce, and that's how we survive as a species. In my class, I teach that we do two things. We survive and we reproduce. And there's so many systems in our body that are functioning to allow us to survive on a daily basis, learn the dangers around us, remember things, and survive. But then comes reproduction. I don't need to reproduce to survive today, but for the overall thought process of the species, reproduction includes survival. We're focusing on the female, what the female does in preparation on a monthly basis to fertilize, prepare for the growth eventually of a fetus inside the uterus. We do that by preparing the ovary and preparing the uterus. And when we think about a female, at birth, there's about 1 million eggs that we start out with. A female has a set amount of eggs that they have, and by the time they hit puberty, we're over already less than half that, roughly about 400,000 eggs that are left. You think about the amount of possibilities over time. A female goes through their overall menstrual cycle once a month, where there's going to be an ovulation of an egg one time a month. If we look at that, starts roughly around 12 years old all the way up to about 48 years old. We only have a certain amount of time. Let's just say we have 30 years total, and we look at once a month that there's an egg that's going to be ovulated. 12 eggs a year times 30, we're only looking at 360 possible times that we could reproduce. And that egg is only going to survive roughly about a day, maybe 2 days if we're lucky, inside the female as it awaits to be fertilized by a sperm coming from the male. So the odds are against us, but we use the odds of a male, the amount of sperm that's reproduced. Even as I'm speaking, I'm producing thousands of sperm. During ejaculation, millions of sperm, roughly 2 million or so, depending on the male, the health and the status of that male, is going to enter into the female. And our goal is to ultimately get through the uterine tubes or fallopian tubes. And by the time that occurs, there's only a few thousand sperm that have made it through that journey. And by the time it reaches the actual egg in preparation for fertilization, we're talking maybe 100. We're using numbers of sperm and then also the quality of the egg from the female in hopes of reproduction as we go through this process. What we're describing here is the ovarian, what the ovary does, and then what the uterine cycle does. All of this is controlled by hormones. When we look at the endocrine system, we talked about a cascade effect, right? Where the brain is going to talk to other organs to produce other hormones. When we specifically look at the hypothalamus, it talks to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is going to release hormones to talk to other organs. That's part of this process of using that cascade effect, meaning hormones talk to hormones like a messaging system, to create a reaction within the body. We'll focus a lot on estrogen, progesterone, and then we'll look at luteinizing hormone known as LH, and then follicular stimulating hormone or follicle stimulating hormone known as FSH. What I'm describing here is first looking at the overall process of the ovary. So the ovarian cycle. We look at this, we put it in a 28-day cycle, and it can vary from female to female. On average, it's a 28-day period, so we're looking at a month. During this process, the ovarian cycle is divided into two phases, a follicular phase and a luteal phase. The middle junction is going to be on day 14, which we call ovulation or the release of the egg. The follicular phase is the development of a follicle, and a follicle includes two things: the actual oocyte, which is being developed, that is going to ultimately become the egg, and then the cells around it, which we call the follicular cells. The follicular cells are producing estrogen, and they're helping with the development of the egg. We call that first phase, follicular phase, to where we're developing the follicle. It goes through multiple stages. Let's look at this at the top. If we take the follicular phase, this is describing the first 7 days of it, and as we move closer to day 14, we start out with primordial follicles. So primordial is almost like the egg nest. We start out just the basic egg nest. And this can take months for these to develop. When we look at an egg, It takes almost a year or so for the egg to fully mature to get to the point to where it can ovulate. Versus a male, the sperm, it takes about a month, but I'm producing thousands of sperm continuously. I look at a primordial follicle, the very basic follicle. This will, based on hormonal changes, will become a primary follicle, and then it becomes a secondary follicle. It's developing over the first week or so. And that secondary is going to start to have hormonal changes to it where it's getting bigger and bigger. It's going to be selected to further develop in what we call a tertiary follicle. This is also known as a Graafian follicle or a vesicular follicle. You go from a primordial to a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary. Where it mentions atresia here, atresia is the ones that didn't make it. Remember, only one egg is going to ovulate, and typically an ovary alternates once a month. So this ovary this month will ovulate, then the next one. Sometimes you could have more than one based on hormonal changes. Sometimes that egg can split. But for the most part, on average, one is selected. It's the best of the best based on how it reacted with the hormones. It becomes a tertiary follicle. Once it becomes that tertiary, the Graafian follicle, it's now at a point to where it's going to go through ovulation. So on that day 14, we have a spike in hormones that we'll look at that's helping to focus that release of the egg. Once it's released, we turn into the luteal phase. The egg is going to release, we call that the secondary oocyte. That's going to release and then head towards the fimbriae of the uterine tube or fallopian tube and start to travel along. The goal is to hit the ampulla. If you remember when we talked about the different structures of the female reproductive system, ovulation occurs on day 14, but within a day, we're looking for ovulation to occur right at that bulge of the uterine tube called the ampulla. The sperm have to make it all the way through the uterine tube at that point. And that if fertilization occurs, it takes roughly then about 4 more days to finally hit the uterus in preparation for implantation. What we're doing is preparing the uterus. How do we do that? Through the luteal phase. Luteal phase is referring to the luteum. Luteum means yellow. Corpus means body. The remnants of my tertiary follicle is the corpus luteum. This is primarily going to produce progesterone. Progesterone, again, coming from a cascade effect down from the hypothalamus to the pituitary, down to my ovaries. This progesterone that's coming from the corpus luteum is going to help to prepare the uterus for implantation. And this can occur for roughly 3 to 4 weeks, and then the fetus will take over at that point. If fertilization doesn't occur, or over time, the corpus luteum becomes more like scar tissue, and we call that corpus albicans. Remember, corpus means body, albicans means white, so it's a white body. It's changing and degrading and turning into scar tissue over time. The ovary is only about an almond in size. So when we think about it, this is very small amounts microscopically of tissue that's degrading. So that's the 2 phases of the ovary. Make the follicle and then use the remnants of it, which is the luteum, corpus luteum, to help prepare the uterus for implantation. The uterus, in the meantime, is getting ready for that process. It's a monthly change of hormones as we change the inner layer, the superficial layer that we call the endometrium. There's 2 primary layers, a functional layer and then a basal layer. It's that top or superficial functional layer that we start as we call the menses. And that's typically 7 days on average, depending on the female. We call that process the menses, to we're actually sloughing off the functional or superficial layer of the endometrium. After that 7 days, we have a change to we're going to start to rebuild, and we call that the proliferative stage. After 7 days, within that process, as we coordinate with the follicular phase, we're now developing that functional layer again to where you have more active glands, more of the uterine wall that's developing through the vessels that regrow to secrete the fluids necessary to develop the uterus. Once ovulation occurs, it's going through a secretory phase, and this is going to occur over the next 14 days. Remember, we said at day 14, the egg or secondary oocyte is ovulated. It takes roughly about 5 days finally to get to the uterus. So we're looking towards about day 19, 20, and that's where we're at the highlight of that secretory phase where we redevelop the functional layer of the uterus. As we look at this, the uterine cycle is 3 phases: the menses, 0 to 7 days. Proliferative, 7 to 14. After ovulation, it's called the secretory phase. You have two different things occur. How this occurs is by way of all the hormones. So I show the same picture here, but let's add the hormones to it. If I look at where the hormones are coming from the pituitary gland, but controlled by the hypothalamus. So on the hypothalamus, we have regulatory hormones that control the adenohypophysis, which is the anterior pituitary. At this point, we're going to see a couple spikes. One, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and then luteinizing hormone. These two hormones, as we get closer to day 13, are spiking in preparation for ovulation. The follicular stimulating hormone is coming down and helping the ovary to secrete estrogen to help develop the egg, also some of our secondary characteristics that we see sexually, and then progesterone that's going to start to occur once ovulation occurs. I have follicular stimulating hormone that says what it's doing. I'm stimulating the follicle. The follicle stimulating hormone is used during this part of the follicular phase to continue the development of that egg or that secondary oocyte in preparation of ovulation. So you see a little bit of a spike in the FSH, but you see a huge spike or a surge in LH. LH, luteinizing hormone. If you hear the word lutein, that's referring to corpus luteum. This is going to occur to where it's going to allow that push of the egg out of the ovary. As it leaves the ovary, we're going to continue the development of the corpus luteum. The goal of LH is just a spike to allow ovulation to occur, and then it's going to continue to stimulate then that progesterone that's going to help develop the actual layers of the uterus. All of this is controlled by hormones. If we fully break this down, you're looking at two things that are happening. We're preparing the egg or the secondary oocyte in the ovary. We put that into two phases, follicular phase and then luteal phase after ovulation. In the meantime, the uterus is getting ready and we build that in three phases. We slough off the functional layer of the endometrium, and then we rebuild it through the proliferative phase and secretory phase, all in preparation of fertilization. If fertilization occurs, then as the development of the placenta and the fetus occur, then you have the hormones changing within that process. Versus if fertilization doesn't occur, we just repeat this all over again on a monthly basis. That fertilization has to happen within about 24 hours, which is amazing that this actually occurs. Hoping with the number of sperm, because remember, sperm can survive potentially 5-7 days inside the female within the uterus, uterine tubes, and different pockets of that fallopian tube, hopefully to sit there and wait for the egg. So this is an overview of ovarian and uterine cycle.